Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Caroline, that's me, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to basically having a beginner's guide to shopping for hair, because I realize I'm always showing y'all guys how to install, how to lay your closure, how to lay your frontal, this and that, but I never really feel like I took the time to kind of explain to you guys how to even buy this hair that I'm showing you how to install, because the hair market, especially like the overseas hair market, is so oversaturated, and there's HD lace, there's transparent, there's skin melt, jerry curl, this, that, 5x5, 7x7. There's so much out there, and it can get really confusing and overwhelming. And I know even me, every day I'm learning something new. So I just want to kind of share kind of the foundation to how to properly shop online for hair and to know what you're looking for. Speaking of hair, before we hop into that, let's talk about the hair that I'm wearing now, because I know y'all want to know. This hair was sent to me by Nadula Hair Company. This is their Jerry Curl wig. It is they sent me 24 inches, but I trimmed it to give me this full look on the bottom. It is a 5x5 closure wig, 180% density, and I'll have all the descriptions and all the specifics and the link to it down below in the description box. Let's get into the video. So I wrote everything down on my phone to kind of help me, go in a more organized way. There's a lot of information in general when it comes to hair. The more you buy, the more you know kind of situation. I kind of just like wrote down the basics and the key points that you guys should look out for. So starting for the top, honestly, first thing first, before you start buying hair, you gotta know, what are you looking for, what style, what are you going for, and what are you trying to achieve. When it comes to buying hair, there is a plethora, a lot of different things, different hair textures, right? There's straight, there's wavy, there's kinky curly, there's water wave, loose wave, there's a lot. And I'm gonna quickly kind of just go over just the main ones that I've experienced and, try to put some like reference photos as well. So starting off with straight versus body wave. I feel like that's like the most, basic and simplest one to go with. So straight hair, right? Duh, it's straight. And then there's body wave. And body wave, in my opinion, is basically straight hair that's been like processed to give you that like, body wave that you see. But let me tell you right now, okay, that body wave, once you wash it or try to install it, it's not going to be there anymore. That's just like for the appearance, that's just for the appearance of the hair. When you actually like wash that body wave, it's not going to be there anymore, sweetie. Like when you wash the hair, at the most it might be like a wave, but it's not like a wave that you can actually wear out, if that makes sense. So the reason why you get body wave versus a straight, let's say you want to go for like a curled look, you want to curl the hair, because typically, in my opinion, I've found that body waves hold a better curl and curl better than a straight. But if it's a really good straight, if it's a really good body wave, then it should have the abilities to curl and straighten anyhow, right? Same thing for straight. Straight hair, typically I only get that if I want like a really nice, sleek, straight look. And sometimes straight hairs do not curl as best as a body wave. But if it's a really good straight hair, it should also be able to be curled and straightened. So that's that. Now onto the actual curly patterns, right? So I'm gonna go from tightest curls to loose curls, okay? So in my opinion, tightest curls are kinky curly. Kinky curly kind of reminds me of a natural curl type of thing, like a 4C or just a type 4 hair. And from kinky curly, we have something like this, which is jerry curl, right? As you can see, you have the little ringlets at the bottom. And jerry curl, in my opinion, is kind of a looser version of a kinky curly. It's not as tight, but you get the really tight curls at the bottom right here. And from there, we can have like just like the standard curly, which is kind of like it's just curled. There's no like wave in it, right? Because jerry curls, like as you can see at the top, maybe has a bit of a wave and then goes down to a curl. And from there, we have like the deep wave. And deep wave, in my opinion, is my favorite curl, because deep wave does resemble this jerry curl pattern that you see, but it has a wave at the top, but the ringlets at the bottom are much bigger. I'll probably insert some pictures. They're a bit bigger. I do like that bigger curl look at the bottom. And from there, we have like the waves. There's water wave, loose wave, all of those. And with those, they're just, they're just wavy patterns. But what I have found is with the wave patterns, since they're like not as tight as a kinky curly or a deep wave, I can still straighten them and curl them. Probably won't be like a really good bone straight, like maybe a loose wave will give you will look nice bone straight, but I wouldn't suggest like trying to get a bone straight with a water wave unless it's like a really good quality water wave. And that's another thing too, if you're getting like the other curlier textures, like a kinky curly, don't go around thinking you can get this kinky curly and if maybe tomorrow you want to have straight hair, you're going to straighten it. No, it's not going to work that way. You can probably, yes, you'll be able to straighten it, but it's not going to be like a sleek bone straight. It'll probably look more like a blowout in my opinion. So I always find, my thing I always tell people, because some people ask like, does it curl, does it straighten, can you both? I feel like if you bought it to be curly, it's going to be curly. If you bought it to be straight, it's going to be straight, unless it's like a body wave or straight. Those are kind of different, but typically curly hair, don't think you're gonna start straightening it. But if it's like a loose wave, then yeah, because it's a looser wave, so taking out those kinks and curls is much easier. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Or I'm looking for hair online or whatever, I usually go onto like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I use social media and like look at videos of girls who have worn the hair that I'm interested in to kind of see the curl pattern, to kind of understand like, is that what I'm looking for, this and that. And another thing, of course, yes, the hair company itself will show you on the website, ooh, here's this deep wave. And let me tell y'all real quick, like most of those pictures, honestly, a lot of those pictures, those girls in it, that's not the hair they're wearing. That's not the same girl. You know how many times people will DM me like, oh my God, Caroline, they're using your fake pictures. I'm like, yeah, I know. They do that. It's typical. It's advertisement, right? Like they probably will show you a girl that their hair might resemble after you install it. Maybe, maybe not, but the hair that you see that girl wearing in that picture, most of the time that is not the same wig. It's just some picture from Instagram or Pinterest that they saw that was very popular, and they just use that for advertisement purposes, right? So beware of these pictures. Don't just like when you're shopping online, see the hair and be like, that's exactly what I'm getting, because no, that's not. Most of the time what you have to do is after you see the pretty girl with the pretty hair, you have to scroll down to the description box or like the descriptive part of the hair, and that's where they might, if you're lucky, put actual photos of what the stock hair looks like, what you're actually receiving. So just be wary of the fake photos that you see as advertisement. But if let's say you do see a girl and like you're like, oh, I know her from Instagram, I've seen her pictures before, and you do see the company using her photo, if it's possible for you to DM her, go to your page and like go to the person's page and see if they actually did tag that actual company, then okay, cool, then you can confirm that that is exactly what they're selling. Okay, so now that you figured out the texture that you want, now you need to figure out the lace that you're getting. Are you doing a frontal, a closure, a U part, T part? There's a lot, just like the textures, there's a lot of different type of, well, I'll call it lace. I don't know what to call that part, but so basically I guess I'll start off with a frontal. So a frontal is something that goes from here to here, and with that you have the advantages to literally part anywhere. You can part in the middle, part on the side, you have parting space all over, but depending on like 13 by 6 or 13 by 4, and let me talk about that as well. So the 13 means it goes from here to here, right? Now the 13 by 4 versus 13 by 6 basically means how much parting back into your hair. Like this is a 5-inch parting, so that means I have parting 5 inches all the way back. Standardly, you see frontals be 13 by 4. That's like the basic standard, right? But if you're someone like, let's say you want like a really nice, sleek, dramatic middle part, or a really nice, deep side part, or just something that takes like more parting backwards, you want to go for like a longer 13 by 6, right? And from frontals, we have closures, right? And closures, instead of going from here to here, closures standardly a 4 by 4, right? Is literally you get lace from here to here. So you get 4 inches here, 4 inches there. This closure that I'm wearing is a 5 by 5, so so literally the lace stops right here and the parting goes 5 inches, right? So I have deep parting. 6 by 6, same thing, it goes probably a little bit more here and that. With closures, right, typically I recommend doing it, if you know you want to do like a middle part or you're like a middle part babe, then I recommend getting a closure. Yes, you can do a side part with closures, but especially for me, because I like to have my edges hidden. I like to have my hair straight, braid back, and put my wig on. So if I try to do like a side part with that, since I don't have the lace covering all of my hair, then my actual edges can't be showing, and that's just not what I'm going for. That's not cute. No, I refuse. But of course, you can probably get away with doing a side part. You get like a 6 by 6 you can do. you can have more chances to do a side part. But typically for me, I say if you're gonna do a closure, do a middle part. But I do like closures for beginners because closures are less to maintain, because literally all you have to do is just worry about that small section. Because with frontals, you gotta worry about like everything. Make sure your lace is snatched here, there, there. But a closure, you just gotta worry about here and here. Put it on, boom, super easy. And I feel like closures are more easy to be glueless. And don't worry, I'm gonna explain more of that glueless concept more down the video. But that is that. So you got closures and frontals, right? But from there, it gets a little bit more specific, okay? Because especially with this lace shortage thing that happened during COVID, a lot of these hair companies has found like more creative ways to offer you different types of closures and frontals. For example, there is a T-part frontal, I believe. So basically it's a 13x4, right? But not really a 13x4, meaning like you have, there's lace here to here, like a regular 13x4, but like it's literally the smallest amount of lace around here, and then you have the parting. So how I said earlier, you could part everywhere with a frontal. With this type of frontal, you can't part anywhere. You're kind of stuck with the middle part, and you can do some baby hairs on the side like a regular frontal, but you literally only just have the middle part. So you want to be careful, especially when you're looking into like buying things. That's why you look past the pretty girl in the picture, scroll down to descriptions to see exactly what kind of lace is this. Yeah, at first thought you're buying a frontal, but you get in the mail and you realize, wait, it's not a full frontal, like what is this? And you can't complain to the company because technically it was in the description box, or you just overlooked that word because you didn't understand exactly what that meant that you're getting. So make sure you know that 13x4 frontal versus a 13x4 T-part, very different. And from T-parts, we have lace part closures. And lace part closures, those are kind of the same thing, but closure version, right? So you literally only have that middle parting and a little bit of lace around here. So, you know, I think that basically these came up because of the lace shortage, where companies had to find more creative ways to kind of, you know, sell you lace wigs without having to use too much lace. And from there, we have our headband wigs and, you know, U-part wigs. And those are for my babes that like to rock their actual hair and edges and all of that. Alright, so now you decided, okay, I want to get me a closure. I want to get me a frontal, whatever. Now you got to figure out transparent, HD, Swiss brown, you know, now we got to figure out that. And basically all those terms are just describing the lace material, like the thickness and how easy or how blendable it is into your scalp. The most standard one that everyone, basically the most simple standard one, is your Swiss brown lace, right? And with Swiss brown lace, I recommend this for those who are my skin tone and darker. If you're like more of a caramel macchiato, you know, down there on that range of the skin tone, definitely don't recommend a Swiss brown, light brown lace, because it is brown. And since you are a fair tone, even with putting powder, it's going to be much harder for your hairstylist or yourself to get it to melt better into your skin. But if you are more of a fair tone, transparent lace is what is for you. Transparent lace, you probably think, oh, that works for everyone. No. Transparent lace is just for those who are lighter than me and more down that way, okay? It's transparent. Even though it says transparent, it's really not that transparent. I'm not too sure why exactly they claim it as that. I can get away with using transparent lace, but sometimes even me, I have a hard time blending transparent lace with my skin tone. And then my favorite one is HD lace. HD lace basically works for everybody. You just put on whatever foundation color you need to put on and tint it to the right shade, and it's supposed to melt and blend chef kiss into your skin. Now, here's the thing. A lot of companies, they'll put in the title when you're shopping online, HD this, da-da-da-da. What you gotta do, like I said before, scroll down to that description box, right? And when it says lace material or lace details, look for what words they're saying. Are they saying light brown? Are they saying transparent, HD? If they don't specify what type of lace it is, it's probably going to be that Swiss brown, but like the really hard type. If you scroll down to a hair company's description of the hair, and they're not specifically describing the least Swiss brown or light brown, they're just saying like lace, or they claim HD lace and they don't say HD lace in the actual description box, most of the time it's probably not going to be HD, and I wouldn't suggest you going for that. I wouldn't be too confident buying that, you know what I'm saying? So now we've got all of that. We've got our texture, we know what kind of closure, frontal, we know what kind of lace we're getting. Now we gotta figure out the density or how thick the hair is going to be. So that brings me to wigs versus bundles. So here's the thing with wigs, right? So wigs, they're getting a pre-made wig by a company. They're very convenient because you don't have to worry about the whole construction, having to worry about paying someone, or you yourself making it yourself. But with doing that, then you kind of have to, you compromise how thick you want it, because now the company's in charge of basically how thick the hair is going to be. So that's where most companies do kind of sell their hair by the density. So there's 150 to, I believe some people have 250. Some companies even have 130%. 130% is like the lowest amount I've ever seen. In my opinion, that is very, very thin. But some people do like the thinner look. They don't like really big hair on their head. So 130 is, you know, very, very thin. And there's like 250% density, which is very, very full. This wig that I'm wearing is 180% density. Gonna put it in a little quick ponytail, and so it's like pretty thick. It's thicker than the standard hair. And with curly hair, you kind of have a bit of advantage. You can get away with like a 150%, maybe even a 130% maybe with curly hair, because the hair just expands and the curls kind of give the illusion of fullness. So you don't have to worry too much of like getting a super full wig if you're getting curly wig. I feel like 150 to 180 for curly hair is just fine. Now for straight hair, since it is straighter, this is straight, right? Straight to wavy hair textures, you do have to be more cautious of what density that you're getting, right? So with bundles, typically what I see is about like 100 grams, 95 grams, kind of, you know. If you see anything less than that, then just means you're getting some very thin bundles. And sometimes, I remember I used to buy hair back then before like I actually like would get hair for like PR and do YouTube reviews. I used to like make sure I used to weigh the grams of my hair out to make sure I got what I paid for, okay? It's that serious. Money does not come from trees, okay? That means I'm getting what I was advertised. So all of that too is also can be found in the description box of the hair that you're buying, okay? All right. But with bundles, typically I would suggest bundles. You're someone that one, you know how to make a wig. Two, you know someone can make you a wig. You don't mind paying them or whatever it costs to get that done. Or if you know you want a very full wig, but you don't want to pay for that extra density, because sometimes, not gonna lie, it's cheaper to just buy the bundles and the closure yourself, especially if you know how to make it yourself. If you don't know how to make it yourself, then it's probably going to cost the same, probably even more. But if you know how to make it yourself or want to try it out yourself, you're going to get more money out of it. You're going to get more money out of you just, you know, buying the bundles and the closure yourself, because this way you can make it as thick as you want. You can do 3 bundles, 4 bundles. Now I'm just going to talk about some key advertisement words that these companies will try to get you with, and I'm going to just, you know, talk through those. I didn't really know what section to really name these. I just call it keywords or the catchphrases that a lot of these companies are using. So we've got pre-plucked and pre-bleached, and what does that mean basically? So whenever you're buying your hair, right, most of the times, you know, you're going to have to pluck the hair and bleach the knots. And most companies, in my opinion, I've only like seen 2 companies that I've worked with that actually do offer pre-plucked and pre-bleach, where I don't have to do any of that, and that was So Good Hair Company and Super B. But the rest of the standard, like, you know, Beauty Forever and Icy Hair, all those standard companies, you're going to be having to pluck and you're going to be having to bleach, and it is what it is. Remy, there's like Remy hair, raw hair. Remy, don't let that fool you. That's the same thing as everything else. It's just some catchphrase you're trying to use. Now, raw hair, that is something that actually is actually a legit thing, but that's something like specific companies are like certified to sell raw hair. So raw hair basically means like no processing, nothing. It's like straight off the scalp onto the weft, basically. And that's what that means. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. Just because it's raw does not mean it's like amazing. It just means it's not processed. There's no like in between that happened to it. But I've never worked with a company that actually had raw hair, so I can't speak too much on that, but that's just what that term itself means. So that brings us to like the Cambodian, Malaysian, Peruvian, all of that. Back when I was buying hair, I used to think that those things actually made a thing. Like in my head, I was okay, well, Peruvian is thicker, Cambodian is this, but honestly, I've come to learn they're just gimmicks. They're just gimmicky words. Maybe some companies, they kind of classify like the cuticles and all of that differently, but I perceive it as it's all words. This hair didn't come from Cambodia. This didn't come from Malaysia. It's just all words, honestly. And honestly, a lot of these companies, not gonna lie, it's really all the same hair. Like the deep wave looks the same as AliExpress, as this deep wave from this guy. Like their deep wave or their water wave is the same curl pattern type of thing. So I've really not seen a big like significance when it comes to like Brazilian, Malaysian, Cambodian. And another word that I see a lot online is glueless. So glueless basically means you don't need to do any gluing processing at all. And to be honest, in my opinion, I feel like the whole glueless thing really kind of comes down to the person installing it themselves. Some units, yes, if they add an elastic band or give you the option to add an elastic band, can be made glueless. Because the way I see it, the only way I can really make a wig glueless is by adding an elastic band. So if a company does like market something as glueless, it probably means that it has an elastic band on it, so you can wear it glueless. It doesn't mean like you're gonna put the lace on it, it's gonna just stick on your head like that. So don't think that way. It basically just means that you might have an elastic band attached to your wig or an option to attach it. So now that you've figured out all the details, you know all the keywords, and you're an expert when it comes to hair and buying hair online, another thing you gotta look at too is the customer service and return policy and all of that jazz of the company. So a lot of companies will say 30 days money back guaranteed, or we do returns, this and that. And the thing with those returns is there's a catch, and I've realized this by reading like a lot of description boxes of these companies. So I'm telling you, the description box is very, very important to read before you buy. Yes, they probably do offer like 30 days return or money back guarantee if you don't like it, but that is only if you do not touch the hair, cut the lace, put it on your head, wash it, or anything. And in my mind, I'm like, well, how is someone supposed to know if the hair was bad if they didn't even touch it? And this return policy basically just stands for like the things that you can see with your eyes. Or let's say, for example, you bought a 13x4 frontal and it did state 13x4, and you got out your measuring tape. And back then I used to measure out my lace because some of these companies are trying to cheat you, and you measure it out, you know, take pictures, people trying to play you, and you see that it's 12 inches or it's 3 inches apart. Then you can, before you even install it or anything, you can return it for that. Or maybe it said it's an HD lace and you're looking at transparent, or you're looking at a very hard Swiss, or they said it was pre-bleached on the knots and you realize these knots are black, they're not bleached. Things that you can basically see initially that were probably advertised in a description box, but you got it yourself without having to actually like install the hair and notice. That's when you can go ahead and, you know, do the whole return thing. But let's say you installed it and it's not good, it starts shedding, it's like just terrible hair. Most of the times you're not gonna be able to return the hair, unfortunately. They're gonna tell you, well, ma'am, we don't sell refurbished hair, we don't take back used hair. And you're very arguing, they're like, oh my god, but you told me it was 30 days back guarantee. No, sweetie, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. I'm sorry. The only place where you can actually buy hair and like install it and it's shit and you can return it and get your money back is Amazon. So if you're someone who's just like really, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even deal at all with taking a risk, then I suggest you shop on Amazon. One of the companies that you probably see on AliExpress, Instagram, all of those places, they probably do have an Amazon store as well. So that's an opportunity for you to, you know, have like, and my bad, Amazon Prime, not just Amazon Prime. That's completely different. Because Amazon Prime, you know, has that whole like great customer service team behind everything. So with Amazon Prime, you can definitely return a hair that you have installed and it's shedding, or you don't like it, or whatever it may be, and return it comfortably and know you get your money back. So there's that. Or maybe also, let's say you like are looking for something specific, like you're looking at the hair website and you want specific lengths, but you don't see those lengths. Of course, you know, communicating with them helps you too, or you want like a bigger wig cap or higher density, this and that. Talking to them really helps. But if you're talking to a company that don't respond to you, that's a red flag. If they have terrible customer service, I believe this is for everything, not just for buying hair. If a company has bad customer service, that speaks a lot on the company, in my opinion. So if you can't even communicate with them, then maybe you shouldn't be buying with them. Just saying. Yeah, that is all I have for you guys. I hope I like kind of touched the main concerns or main things that comes to like hair and buying hair online and all of that. I hope you guys found this very helpful. If you have any questions, or maybe I didn't touch something, or you need me to elaborate more on something, then I would definitely, you know, just comment down below in the comment section, and you know, I'll try to get back to you. Or, you know, Instagram and all of that good stuff works too. But yeah, that's all I have. Peace out, Girl Scouts, and goodbye.